light was dim and this life is sin. Every day I wake up and breathe. I don't have it all, but that's alright with me. Take it.
All right, so starter rollerblading tips from a non-rollerblading professional who also likes to rollerblade. Check your terrain before you go somewhere, because you could get there and it could be really pretty and you could want to go, but you're not gonna go because it's bumpy. So I hate the sidewalk. Oh no. All right, so this is one of the spots I come to on a regular. I normally don't have these things on though. Ironically, I normally have a surfboard in my hand. It's way too cold outside. So it's the Oceanic. They got pretty good food, but it's kind of expensive and I don't have the budget for that right now. But the food's good, so if you guys ever want to get good food at the beach, Wrightsville Beach, the Oceanic's pretty awesome. They got good food. Also though, what makes it even cooler is the ocean's literally right there. So right by that pier, there's a pretty good break, and I surf there all the time. Yep. We're gonna go back to skating now. It's kind of sketch up there, and I don't like it. The terrain's rough, and I'm considering heading back to my car. But I really want to stay at the beach till the sun sets. So, I don't know, we'll just have to see. Could go either way. So, this is bonus footage for people who don't know me. This is why vlogs exist, for me to tell you guys random stuff about myself and you guys to act like you care, but really you do care, but really you don't care, because it's just a vlog anyway. So I consider myself a fan of all balance-based sports. So like no matter what it is, if the main focus is being able to balance, I probably like it and have fun at doing it. So like skateboarding, surfing, rollerblading, what else? Gymnastics is pretty cool. I'm bad at that. I'll probably do a vlog about that one day, like go to Flip and Fly or something and show you guys how bad I am at tumbling. But yeah, moral of the story is I like balance-based sports, especially ones where you have to keep your core activated, because they result in the best workouts. You're able to work out multiple muscle groups in your entire body, but since you're balancing, you're really getting your entire body involved in the workout. So balance-based sports are like my go-to for working my body out, because number one, I don't have to depend on anybody else. In liking balance-based sports, one thing that comes with them a lot is falling. Anybody that knows me knows that I really don't like falling. Ever. ever. Like, I don't like falling off my skateboard. I don't like falling in the water surfing, even though you have to just to catch a next set. I don't like falling off my rollerblades. I don't even like falling in love. It's like, just, if it has anything to do with falling, I'm not a fan of it. I say that to say, though, no matter how rusty I am, no matter how much I haven't practiced a certain balance-based sport, no matter how much sketch comes in doing it for the first time in a long time or doing it somewhere sketchy, my main goal, number one, most of the time, is not to fall. So throughout this process, you guys will probably be seeing a lot of me not falling, but almost falling. It's pretty much my entire style in everything I do, whether it's skateboarding, rollerblading, surfing. I mean, like, literally, it looks like I'm constantly in the process of falling, but keeping myself from falling somehow every time. It's really wild. But it also creates for a lot of fun and a lot of clips of you guys getting to see me go, oh god, oh no, especially on these rollerblades, because, like, I'm really not very good at these things at all. All right, so this is probably like the first time in my vlog I'll get emotional.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Or, like, not actually emotional, but just sharing parts in my brain that I don't really normally share. Because that's what this whole thing's about, and I'll kind of lead you guys into it when the view gets better up here. But we're currently on a walk to a better view, which is basically what life is, a walk to a better view. So I'll talk about that in a second. All right, so the object of today's episode is to talk about depression. And I know that's like, everybody talks about depression, or everybody doesn't talk about depression, or everybody ignores it and acts like it isn't real, or everybody acknowledges that it's real, but just generally accepts that there is no true answer or cure for it. And I'm not here to try and solve it. I'm not here to try and cure it. I'm just here to openly admit and say that I do know what it is like to be depressed. And I'm not saying that to be cliche. I'm not saying that to just have something to talk about here, but I'm saying it because it's extremely important as to why I do the things that I do, why my vlogs are what they are, why I'm always trying to keep myself busy with doing something that I'm interested in, why I sometimes disappear from the world and don't talk to people for a while, why sometimes and some days it's really hard to get in touch with me. Sometimes I just shut myself in my room and I make music. Other times I don't talk to anyone for days. Other times I feel like if I did talk to someone, I just wouldn't know what to say. I say all that to say, though, I'm just going to read you guys the definition of this, right? So that I don't, before I start expanding on this thought process, I actually give you guys a definition. That way you guys can follow along with what I'm saying and understand exactly what I'm talking about, right? So, all right, the definition of clinical depression is a mental health disorder characterized by persistently depressed mood or loss of interest in activities, causing significant impairment in daily life, right? So that could be anything from, I mean, that just ranges from anything that knocks you out of your normal rhythm of doing what you're doing and puts you in a mood that you don't want to be in, and that keeps you from doing the things that you want to do, right? I think I speak for a lot of people when reading that definition. There's probably a lot of people that are going to hear that and be able to relate with it better than they expect it to be able to, just because a lot of people don't know that it's something that they have to deal with. Dude, that's a cute dog. Can I put it on my vlog real quick? Dude, look at this dog. What breed is he? Oh my goodness. He's so camera shy. He's like, camera? No way, dude. I'm not doing that.
Call him, he'll come over.
Oh, very nice. Hello. Nice to meet you, dude. Very nice to meet you. That's gonna be an awesome scene. Thank you, guys. But yeah, so I say that to say there's a lot of people that can probably relate to that definition of depression, just because there's a lot of days where I'm sure a lot of people feel knocked out of their normal groove of things because of a mood that may be onset by past traumas, suppressed grief, things that they already are dealing with or facing, things that they are experiencing on a day-to-day, or sometimes you might just not really know what's got you off your balance, but you know something's not quite right. That process of understanding when a depressed state comes in is one of the first steps in being able to combat it actively. the reason I'm out here today and the reason I'm even sitting here talking to you guys recording this vlog episode is because, number one, I wanted to start journaling, right? But I don't really like typing journal entries. And number two, I don't really like writing journal entries because my handwriting's awful. My hand cramps up a lot. And I don't quite like the idea of a pencil and paper. I also don't want to type a bunch of journal entries onto my computer. I'd rather just go places, do things, and then record the thought processes I have when I get there. So that's how I started vlogging. Also, it gives me a really cool opportunity to highlight cool stuff I do on a regular, because every once in a while I'll do something cool, like the last episode, which was a fashion show. If you haven't seen that episode, go check it out. I'll put it at the end of this video. But I say that to say the things that I do are normally in direct relation to me realizing that I've made it into a depressed state and trying to figure out a way to get myself out of it, or at least to a point where it's manageable and it doesn't actually directly affect the way that I do things on a daily. That's why I'm out today. I was having a pretty bad day mentally, and I recognized it. I said, well, I've got a GoPro, and the beach is like 10 minutes or something from my house, so maybe I'll go to the beach, do some rollerblading, get some clips. Even if it's not beautiful, even if it's not great, at least I'll have an episode, something to work on, and a way to organize my thoughts in a way that I can feel what I'm feeling, express how I'm feeling, and move through that feeling, as opposed to getting stuck in it and staying there. Yeah, that was a lot. But I say that I'm losing my train of thought now. It's because it was a good one. Normally I lose my train of thought when I'm having a good train of thought. Recognized I was in a down state and figured out a way to, I made a plan to combat that down state, so I didn't just sit in the house or sit in that state and let it kind of fester and get even worse or more impairing than it already was. I also pray a lot. That's one of my main battle tactics for dealing with these states is I turn to prayer a lot, right? But in this process of praying, I realized that not many people have a relationship with God the way that I do, right? So some people haven't been introduced to prayer. Some people haven't been introduced into a spiritual realm of belief in which they can put their faith in something greater than themselves. And then even with my love for Jesus being as strong as it is, and praying so often, it still doesn't, I don't wake up one day and I'm like, oh, suddenly I'm cured of this depression. Everything's okay. No, I still have a battle to fight, right? And we all do. But what's important is that in that process of us going through what we're going through, we find useful ways to share our experience and share our journey with others, so that others may learn and grow from it. And that's what I'm doing with this episode. So one of the ways I do that most directly is getting out of the house, putting myself into an environment where things are pretty, things are a nice nature vibe or something that is enjoyable to do. And then I take in that moment and I practice mindfulness, practice being in the present moment, being thankful for what is here. That way I can move through the feelings and emotions that arise and the things that I feel are dragging me down, and kind of let go of them in those moments in which I'm being mindful and focusing on what's there in the present moment. So as right now, I'm focusing on the words that I'm saying to the camera. I'm focusing on the wind moving through the grass. I'm focusing on the sun on the horizon over there, focusing on the sight of the ocean and the sound of the ocean over my shoulder. I'm focusing on those waves back there. I don't even know if you guys can see them through that little pathway. But taking myself and putting myself right where I am and just saying, here are the things that I'm thankful for, here are the things that I'm experiencing. And that allows me to kind of let go of a lot of those other thoughts that may be dragging me down, right? Now, when there's not a direct sight of where the thoughts are coming from that are keeping me in this state, it's a lot harder to do, because sometimes I can get into a setting where I'm sitting just like this, enjoying what's around me and enjoying being here, and still feel encumbered or feel dragged down by the things that I'm feeling or experiencing, because even in these moments, when these moments end, even when these moments of meditation end, I have to go back to life, you know, the life I live, the life we all live, moving throughout life every day without a real instruction guide, without a real here's how to figure it out, but just trying your best at every moment to be the best version of yourself that you possibly can be. And that gets difficult, especially when you look around and it's hard not to get stuck in the constant comparison stages of how much you're doing compared to how much others are doing, or where you want to be in life compared to where others are where they are in their lives, and in these journeys that we have in comparing and contrasting experiences to one another, it gets really difficult to still be able to find yourself and move through it. So going back to those states of living life after you've had your meditative practice for the day, after you've taken a few breaths and gotten out of that last anxiety attack, it's really hard not to immediately be thrust back into another one, right? Because sometimes it feels like you go back to doing what you were doing and all that weight's right there back on your shoulder. But that's why it's so important to be able to kind of tie in normal everyday occurrences with meditative practices and mindfulness. That way it doesn't feel like work when you do it. It just feels like you're doing it to feel here, to feel present, to feel like things are okay enough for you to take a breath and say, all right, I don't know what else I need to do, I don't know what's next, but right now I'm not going to focus on it because I have the time to be alive and breathe right now. And to find that extra time in the rat race we live in is very difficult at times. But when you get those moments, it's important to take advantage of them because they can be some of the most healing processes for those of us who deal with things that we might not always feel comfortable admitting, facing, or making a plan to deal with and take on head first. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums that up. So yeah, I skate, I surf, I practice meditation and mindfulness, I pray for forgiveness for my sins. I study the teachings of Jesus a lot because he was one of the most pure, loving individuals to ever walk this planet, whose impact still resonates to this day. And I still don't beat it, I still don't just wake up one day and like suddenly everything's all right. But through this process and sharing it with you guys, maybe we can all share things with each other that help us move through these processes and move through these moments and grow and learn from them. So yeah, thank you guys. I'll see you on the next episode. Adonai, head in the sky, I feel so fly, I feel so fly.
16 bars a minute, you know this one here's a writ. Feel like Luke and crew be kicking, don't need potions, don't be sipping. Feel so gone, I might be tripping. Skateboard kick flip, yeah we clipping. Every beat I touch, I'm ripping. Personalities we flipping, opportunities I'm missing. Sending letters, express shipping. Can't hear my name when it's mentioned. With my old friends, there's some tension. All these snakes, yeah, they be hissing. All these snakes, yeah, they be hissing.